A lot of people ask me why they are attracting so many narcissists into their lives and what they can do to stop. And to be honest, when I first started learning about narcissism, this is a question I asked myself too. And the answer is a little bit surprising. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how to know if you are a narcissist magnet and what to do about it if you are. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Common Ego community. My name is Christina, and on this channel we talk about emotional abuse, its connection with spirituality, and we attempt to answer the question, where do we go from here? So if that all sounds good to you, be sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. So today we're talking about how to know if you're a narcissist magnet. And when you start learning about narcissism, it's almost natural to think that you are a magnet for these people, because when you learn about all the traits and the characteristics of narcissists, you recognize those traits and characteristics in more than one person that you've encountered in your life. So, are you in fact a magnet for narcissists? Or is there something else going on here? And the answer that I found surprised me, and I think it's going to surprise you too. In reality, you probably aren't attracting any more narcissists than the next person. But what's going on here is that you may be inviting those narcissists into your life. So you recognize them more than somebody else would. Somebody who's not inviting a narcissist into their lives may never even know that that person was a narcissist. And in a way, at least to me, that's empowering, because if you think that you are a narcissist magnet, if you think that you are somehow unwittingly attracting all these narcissists and you have no idea how to stop, it's sort of like you're a bystander and you can do nothing about it. But when you take the view of you're inviting this person into your life, you're inviting the narcissists into your life, then there's something more tangible to that, and there are action items you can take to actually stop doing that. So I think it's no secret that I do believe in the law of attraction. I believe that it works, and I believe that you can attract narcissists into your life. But the truth about narcissists is that they are opportunistic people. So they are going to try to find opportunities anywhere. And where they land is where those opportunities seem easy to get, easy to obtain. So if they think that they can get something out of you and it's going to be easy, they're going to take that as an invitation to walk all over your boundaries and to exploit you for whatever you have to offer. But you shouldn't feel bad if a narcissist approaches you. If you can tell that someone is a narcissist and you send them away, there's really a good chance that they're not going to come back, because again, they are opportunistic people, they are exploitative, and they're going to get whatever they can out of any person in any given situation. And although some may like a little bit of a challenge, they're not going to go that far to get what they want when you've made it clear that you are going to hold to your boundaries and that you're not going to be a good target for them. In my video about why a narcissist stops hoovering, I talk about how a narcissist will stop hoovering once they realize that you are stronger than all that you are going to send them packing. They're going to test the waters a little bit. They're going to push your boundaries a little bit and see how you respond. And this might not be something that they're consciously doing, like, hey, I'm going to do this to see how much I can abuse this person. What they're really doing is looking for supply, and they want to see if you are going to give it to them or not. And in order for them to get supply, they have to push through your boundaries. And how you handle this is going to determine whether that narcissist sticks around in your life or not. These people aren't super resilient. So if you say no and you're firm to it and they know that you're not going to give an inch, they're going to walk away. So it's not so much about whether you are actually attracting and pulling these people in front of your view. It's about what you do when these people are in front of you. That determines whether you feel like a narcissist magnet or not. Okay, so let's get to it. I have 6 signs that you might feel like a narcissist magnet. You might feel like you can only attract narcissists. So the first sign is that you can't be alone. So This one's interesting because this is the same is true for a narcissist. They can't be alone. They need some level of supply in their lives. So that's why you'll find a narcissist is going to, discard you and move on to someone else. Even if it's a narcissist in your family, if they let you go, if they decide they want nothing to do with you anymore, they're going to have a new person who they take under their wing, a new best friend or a new favorite family member. There's always going to be a new supply. So if you think you're a narcissist magnet, the second thing that may resonate with you is that you feel other people's pain and you feel a responsibility to fix it or to help them get better. And this is such a good thing. It means you have a good heart. But if you don't have the right boundaries, somebody can walk all over you. So if you can relate to this, you may meet somebody who is a narcissist or even another opportunistic person, and you see that they have problems. Whether they tell you about them or not, you can sense it. You can sense that they're getting in their own way. And there's some simple things they could do to just turn their life around and make things easier, make your relationship easier, make their other relationships easier, and everything will go more smoothly for them if they just fix their problems. So because you can see it, you feel a responsibility to help them, and it seems simple to you. So you try to help them. You try to give them advice, or maybe you try to work through things with them that you think may be stumbling blocks for them. You put yourself out there to help them, and they might even seem like they appreciate the help, but they will never do anything to actually help themselves. And if you do identify with being a narcissist magnet, if you feel like you are one, you're probably having trouble recognizing the signs that someone isn't helping themselves. So you continue trying to help them even though their actions and their words are completely out of alignment and they're not doing anything to help themselves. You keep putting yourself out there, and what you're doing is you're just depleting your own energy. So the third sign that you may be pulling narcissists into your life is that you rarely end relationships. And this one is very similar to number one, but I included it because sometimes it's difficult for people to recognize the first one, which is that they can't be alone. So you might think, well, I can be alone, I just haven't been alone for the past however many years. But so if you're one of those people who just never seems to be alone, and you have trouble ending relationships. Now, everyone has trouble ending relationships. It's difficult, right? But if you are not the one to do it, in most cases, or maybe you've never ended a relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship, there's a good chance that you might be inviting narcissists in your life and keeping them there. So this type of person, and I identified with this very strongly, this type of person stays in relationships too long. And this, honestly, it could be, like I said, it could be a romantic relationship, it could be a friendship, it could even be a work environment that you know is toxic for you, you know it's not good, but you stay for whatever reason because you're afraid to end it. Maybe you're afraid of the confrontation, or you're just afraid to let go. Maybe you're afraid to be alone. And if you feel like you're attracting a lot of narcissists, another thing that you might identify with is the feeling of needing validation from other people. And this is another one that narcissists will also identify with. So they need that external validation. But somebody who's codependent may also need that external validation. You trust other people's opinions of you more than you trust your own. And that's kind of a difference between a codependent and a narcissist. A narcissist believes this grandiose image of themselves, regardless of what anyone else says. But a codependent is more likely to take on someone else's negative view of themselves if that's what's projected upon them. So if somebody's telling you that you're worthless, and you feel that you need that external validation, this is the flip side to that. That's the external degradation. But you accept it all because you trust other people's opinions of anything more than you trust yourself. And this is how we end up falling down that rabbit hole in narcissistic abuse, because you start to believe the other person's perception of you. And the more you believe that, the harder it is to leave, because if you actually believe, whether you openly admit it or not, if you actually believe that you are worth less than someone else, it's going to be harder for you to leave. You're not going to feel worthy of real love or of somebody who isn't abusive. You're likely to feel like you're in whatever it is you deserve. Like whatever this relationship is and is giving you, whatever abuse there is, that you deserve it. And we know that's not true. So another sign that you are a narcissist magnet, or that you may think you are, is that you like when your partner is clingy or a little bit overly jealous. Now, if you see these things as signs of love, that is kind of a red flag that you may have been in abusive relationships before. Abusive relationships, unfortunately, can muddy the lines between what is abuse and what is love. And if you confuse abuse with love, you may accept abusive behaviors from a partner or a friend or really anyone and somehow associate that with love. You may think that that person loves you because they behave that way. And the sixth sign that you are inviting narcissists into your life is that you take responsibility for anything you're involved in, regardless of what anyone else does. So you take responsibility for other people's actions and reactions just because you were in the same vicinity. Maybe you did something, you said something, and that person, flipped over a chair. Well, somehow, I shouldn't have said what I said. But in reality, we aren't responsible for anyone's actions but our own. So it's okay to regret things that you've said. But if you're taking responsibility for someone's actions at the same time, that's a little bit concerning because only they are in control of their reactions. You could have done or said anything, and it's up to them how they're going to react. And this, honestly, if you are this kind of person, if you do take responsibility for things that aren't yours to take responsibility for, you are going to be a prime target for gaslighting. So a narcissist can easily make you think that whatever's going on is actually your fault when it's not. Narcissists absolutely love when another person is going to take responsibility for their bad behavior because it makes their job so much easier. They don't have to justify themselves. You're doing it for them. So if you're doing this, there's a really, really good chance that you are going to invite narcissists into your life. Okay, so what now? If you've identified any of these things at any point in your life, maybe you don't identify with them today, but you did at some point. That's actually pretty good news. But if you feel like you still have a ways to go, the good news is that you can identify these behaviors in yourself and you can start working on them. Maybe start figuring out why they're there, where they came from in the first place. And it's not an easy process. I don't want to oversimplify recovery from emotional abuse. And sometimes it's a lifetime of trauma that people have to overcome. You should always know that you don't have to do it alone. Some people can, but it depends. Everybody has been through different things and everybody processes things in different ways. So don't be afraid to reach out for help if you feel like you need it. Ultimately, for me, recovery had a lot to do with education, a lot of self-work, and learning to love myself again, learning to get to know who I really am as a person, and learning how to honor that every day. If you like this video, please let me know by hitting the like button, and if you'd like to see more like it, be sure you're subscribed, and I will see you next time.